Rejection, a hidden opportunity. Life is a series of opportunities and challenges, with rejection being an inevitable part of it. Have you ever experienced a door being slammed in your face, only to realize later that it was the best thing that could have happened? Rejection is not an end, but a hidden opportunity, a stepping stone that helps us move to a higher level. The Stoic philosophy of Marcus Aurelius has given us invaluable lessons on how to handle rejection. It's not just about learning to accept it, but about turning rejection into a tool to achieve greater things. In this article, we will explore 14 lessons from Marcus Aurelius on how to use rejection to your advantage and develop yourself into a stronger person. 1. Rejection is not the end, but a new beginning. When faced with rejection, many people feel discouraged and think that it marks the end of their dreams. However, the key is to understand that rejection is merely a new beginning, not the end. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What does not kill you makes you stronger." Rejection shows that perhaps you are going in the wrong direction, and this is your chance to change course and grow in a new way. I remember the first time I applied for a scholarship to study abroad. I spent months preparing, submitting applications, and holding high hopes of being accepted. However, the result was that I was rejected. This made me very disappointed, and I thought my dream had shattered. But instead of letting that rejection bring me down, I decided to look at it from another angle. I reconsidered why I was rejected and realized that there were certain skills I needed to improve. I spent the following year improving my language skills and engaging in community projects. As a result, when I applied again, I not only got accepted, but also received a higher scholarship than expected. That initial rejection became a new beginning for me. 2. Do not react emotionally. It's easy to react emotionally when we are rejected. Sadness, anger, or disappointment can overwhelm us. However, Marcus Aurelius teaches that the important thing is not to let emotions control our actions. Stoic philosophy encourages us to remain calm and handle the situation rationally. By not letting emotions take over, we can objectively view rejection and turn it into an opportunity to learn. I had a very close friend for a long time, but gradually I felt that they began to ignore me. Initially, I was very sad and angry, but instead of reacting emotionally, I chose to stay calm and think rationally. I realized that this relationship was no longer suitable for me, and I decided to focus on other, more meaningful relationships. As a result, not only did I not fall into negative emotions, but I also found new friends who aligned better with my values. 3. Use rejection as motivation for growth. Rejection can be a great source of motivation if we know how to use it. Instead of letting rejection bring you down, use it as a source of energy to improve yourself. Marcus Aurelius taught that every difficulty is an opportunity for us to become stronger. A friend of mine, a young entrepreneur, faced a major business failure. He was rejected by large investors and lost a lot of capital. But instead of letting that rejection crush his spirit, he used that failure as motivation to learn. He thoroughly investigated the reasons for the failure, learned financial management, and built stronger business relationships. Later, he restarted with a new project, and this time, he achieved great success. 4. Silence is golden. In many cases, silence is power. When rejected, our instinct is often to explain or try to prove that we are worthy. However, Stoic philosophy teaches that sometimes silence is the best response. This not only helps us maintain inner peace, but also helps us regain mental strength. I once worked with a very difficult colleague who frequently dismissed my ideas during meetings. Initially, I felt very uncomfortable and wanted to retaliate, but later I decided to remain silent and focus on my work. This not only helped me reduce stress, but also helped me achieve better results. Over time, that colleague changed their attitude and started listening to my opinions more. 5. Prove your value to yourself, not to others. Rejection sometimes makes us want to prove to others that we are worthy. However, the most important thing is to prove our value to ourselves. Marcus Aurelius teaches that each rejection is an opportunity for us to reassess ourselves and grow from it. I remember the first time I tried to write a book. After finishing the manuscript, I sent it to several publishers. Most of them rejected my work. This made me feel very discouraged. But then I asked myself whether I was writing for myself or for external validation. I decided to continue writing and improving my skills, not for the recognition of others, but for my own passion. After many efforts, I eventually published my first book successfully. 6. Find joy in failure. One of the most valuable lessons from Stoic philosophy is finding joy in difficulties. When facing rejection instead of wallowing in failure, we can continue with life and explore new joys. I once faced rejection during a job interview that I had been very hopeful about. After that, instead of dwelling on failure, I decided to spend time engaging in activities I enjoyed, like playing music and painting. These activities not only helped me relax, but also made me realize that life is not just about work. There are many other joys as well. 7. Build self-confidence through social connections. Rejection often makes us feel isolated and disconnected from those around us. However, one of the lessons from Stoic philosophy is seeking social connections to rebuild self-confidence. Marcus Aurelius emphasized that humans are social creatures, and we can only truly grow when interacting with others. Building a social network not only helps you feel less alone, but also brings new opportunities for personal and professional growth. When you meet and get to know new people, you will be inspired by their stories and gain more motivation to overcome life's challenges. After not achieving a desired position in my company, I felt disappointed and lonely. However, instead of withdrawing from social life, I decided to join a career development support group. During my participation, I met many like-minded individuals who were facing similar challenges. We shared experiences and supported each other through tough times. This connection helped me realize that rejection is not an end point, but part of the journey. 8. Silence and strategic retreat. When faced with indifference or rejection from others, the usual response is to try to persuade them to change their mind or seek validation. But Marcus Aurelius pointed out that silence, or even a strategic retreat from the situation, may be the most effective way to protect your self-esteem. This does not mean you are giving up, but rather you choose to direct your energy towards more important things, instead of trying to convince someone to recognize your worth. This silence is not avoidance, but an expression of confidence and deep understanding of oneself. You do not need someone else's acknowledgement to feel worthy. Instead of trying to regain attention from those who rejected you, focus on developing yourself and seeking other opportunities. I once worked on a project team with a colleague who frequently disregarded my opinions. At first I tried to convince him that my perspective had value, but after several failed attempts, I decided to remain silent and focus on my part of the work. This not only reduced my stress, but also allowed me to achieve better results. After a while, my colleague realized that I did not need to argue to prove my value, and he began to naturally respect my opinions. 9. Find joy and creativity in simple things. One of the best ways to cope with rejection is to find joy in everyday life. Marcus Aurelius advises us to seek joy in the small things, like enjoying a peaceful morning or feeling the warmth of sunlight. Creativity is also a powerful tool to help us overcome rejection. By engaging in creative activities such as writing, painting, or even cooking, we can transform negative energy into something positive and useful. When I did not succeed in an important business project, I felt very stressed and demotivated. But instead of continuing to blame myself, I decided to devote time to personal hobbies that I had neglected for a long time. I started painting again, a hobby I had once been passionate about. As I immersed myself in creativity, I realized that past failures no longer affected my mind. This process not only helped me escape from negativity, but also allowed me to rediscover joy in life. 10. Build self-worth that doesn't depend on others. Stoic philosophy always emphasizes the importance of building self-worth from within, instead of relying on external validation. Rejection does not reflect our true value. It is just a part of life, and how we handle it will define who we are. When you feel rejected, remember that your value does not come from what others think, but from within you. Marcus Aurelius teaches that we cannot control what others think of us, but we can control how we respond to it. When you focus on developing yourself and internal values, external rejection will no longer have a major impact on you. In building my career, I faced many rejections, from employers to business partners. At times, I felt as if every door was closing in front of me. But instead of letting those rejections discourage me, I began to focus on developing personal skills and learning more about the field I was pursuing. Gradually, I stopped caring so much about what others thought of me, and instead focused on becoming the best version of myself. 11th. Patience and long-term growth. Rejection is not an end, but part of the growth process. Marcus Aurelius pointed out that patience is key to overcoming difficulties and challenges. When you are rejected, don't rush to abandon your goals. Instead, be patient and keep working hard to achieve them. I knew an artist who submitted his work to many art galleries and received a lot of rejections. But instead of giving up, he was patient and continued creating. After many years of effort, a major gallery accepted his work, and he became one of the most popular artists in the area. Patience and determination helped him overcome all challenges. 12. Self-control is power. One of the most valuable lessons from Stoic philosophy is the power of self-control. When we are rejected, we often have the tendency to want to control or change the situation. But Marcus Aurelius taught that we cannot control what happens around us, but we can control how we respond. When I didn't get promoted in a job that I had dedicated a lot of effort to, I felt very disappointed and wanted to change the situation. But instead of trying to control what I couldn't, I decided to focus on what I could control, myself. I focused on improving my skills, seeking new opportunities, and that not only helped me grow in my career but also boosted my personal confidence. 13. Don't let rejection change who you are. The most important lesson Marcus Aurelius taught is not to let rejection change who you are. Sometimes rejection can make us bitter or lose sight of the values we once believed in. But the important thing is to stay true to your values, no matter how much rejection comes your way. I once had a good friend, but over time, our relationship started to deteriorate. I felt rejected and no longer valued as I used to be. This made me wonder if I should change myself to fit better with them. But after careful thought, I decided not to change my values. Instead of changing to be accepted, I focused on finding new friends who respected and appreciated my true self. 14. Transform rejection into resilience. One of the most profound lessons that Stoic philosophy, particularly the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, offers us is the understanding that rejection can be a tool to build resilience. Resilience isn't just about enduring hardship, it's about growing stronger because of it. When faced with rejection, instead of being defeated, we can view it as an opportunity to reinforce our mental and emotional fortitude. Rejection is inevitable in life, whether it comes from relationships, work, or personal goals. But the key is not just to survive it, but to thrive and learn from it. Think of rejection as a challenge that helps you identify your weaknesses and areas for improvement. Every rejection is a step toward building the resilience needed to face future difficulties with grace and strength. I recall a time when I applied for a highly competitive leadership program that I believed would significantly boost my career. I had prepared extensively, worked hard on my application, and felt confident in my chances. However, after several weeks, I received a rejection letter. I was crushed and felt that all my efforts had gone to waste. For a moment, I thought about giving up on pursuing such opportunities altogether. But as I reflected on the situation, I realized that the rejection was not the end of my journey, but rather a lesson. I analyzed the feedback I received and identified the areas where I could improve. Instead of viewing this as a setback, I saw it as a challenge to become even better prepared for the next opportunity. In the end, that rejection helped me build a thicker skin and a more resilient mindset. The next time I applied for a similar program, I succeeded and felt more prepared than ever. Stoic philosophy not only teaches us how to face rejection, but also helps us understand that rejection is a part of life and an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius showed that every challenge is a chance to learn and become a better version of ourselves. Rejection can be painful, but what matters is how we handle it. Turn rejection into motivation for growth, and always remember that your value does not come from external validation, but from within. Stay true to your values and use each rejection as a lesson to become stronger, more confident, and more patient in the journey of life.